Yo, what's up people? I go by RasDaKai and today I would like to react to a video talking about how science is confirming the Bible on generational curses. Let's check it out. Some really interesting stuff in here. Keep watching. Hold on now.
What science has now learned, and it's so fascinating, is that the choices we make in life will alter how our genes are expressed. This is big. People need to really sit up and pay attention to this, because science is now confirming scripture. And in lectures that I do, I often ask the audience, which is more scientifically accurate, the Bible or Charles Darwin? Well, guess what? It's the Bible. Darwin hypothesized that it was mutation over millions of years that caused his finches to have different beaks. Science has actually now proved it's epigenetic modification. Epigenetic, the instructions sitting above the genome telling the genes how to express themselves, which are changed based on experience.
I'm glad he mentioned that because I was like, what the hell is epigenetic modification? Help me, sir. But yeah, so far, I mean, obviously dope stuff. Let's keep listening.
What we go through in life, the foods that we eat, the choices we make, the environment in which we live will actually alter the genes in telling which genes to turn on and which genes to turn off.
What we know about genetics and addiction is that behaviors, sensations, input into the brain will use the DNA to change how the cell responds. And basically what happens is that genes are turned off or turned on based on what that response is. While the DNA doesn't change, the expression does. So the ability to be aware of environment, the ability to respond may be genetically coded, but when we begin changing it, the term we use is epigenetically. When we change how that's expressed, we change the enzymes that are made, we change the response of the cell, and that change becomes a part of the genetic expression.
That is it's so crazy to think about. This really changes the whole outlook, well, for some people, when it comes to generational curses, or mine anyway, because it's not just in the present, you know what I'm saying? Well, it kind of is, but it's in our DNA to some extent. So the behaviors, the the different addictions, the flawed belief patterns and stuff like that, they become a part of us. And then when we have a kid after the fact, then that becomes a part of them, or it becomes a part of that line, so that even if it may skip that particular child, it may be in their kid. You know what I'm saying? So it really just makes it so important to break generational curses and live a full life, like, you know, come up with the good patterns to counter the bad ones. Like, it's a lot to it, but let's continue.
It doesn't happen generally with one exposure to pornography. It's the repetitive, volitional exposure to pornography that will cause this type of gene expression to happen, such that you alter your pleasure circuits and you alter the inhibitory feedback, which would tell you not to do this. And that's epigenetic modification, changing your brain function. When we have kids, we not only give the sequence to our kids, we will pass along the instructions 2 and 3 generations down. And so if we become addicted to stuff, we can pass along to our kids gene constellations that make them more vulnerable to addictions. Conversely, if we get victories over stuff, we can actually pass on advantages.
There's good and
so I want to stop that real quick. I don't want to get too far ahead, and because this is like a whole nother section, but yeah, it's kind of like what I was saying before. It's like if we take on those particular addictions, then our kids, for 2 to 3 generations later down the line, they become more susceptible. They become more susceptible to those particular issues or addictions or whatever, because it's in our DNA. So one of the things that is truly important is to go within ourselves and our lives and figure out what's going on. What are the issues? And not just heal those issues within ourselves, but also create and maintain that blueprint for future generations, right? The lessons like need to be passed down so that once the curse is broken within you, you can continue to break it throughout later generations, and it can kind of be weakened over time. Clearly it takes a while if it's going to be going down your generations, like three generations down the line. But with time, it can be broken, and then your family line can kind of be like a lot stronger, I guess you could say. And let's
Animal evidence that change in expression can be transmitted to the offspring. Those enzymes, those mechanisms, those genes that are turned off may also be turned off in the next generation.
So we can pass along both positive things in our life and or negative depending on the choices we make in life. And so the Bible is actually more scientifically accurate than Charles Darwin, because we do pass down to our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren the experiences that we go through in life based on the epigenetic modifications. They will get not only our genes, but the instructions on how those genes are expressed. Many adolescents will say things like, hey, it's my body, I can do what I want. Only if you're never going to have kids. If you're going to have kids, it's not only your body, it's your kids, your grandkids, and your great-grandkids' body too. So be careful what you do with it.
Don't think of it as
is real to some extent. It was fun to me, but I mean, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do what you want to your body, to your mental state. But once you have kids and you're passing some of that on, and because our lives are changing so rapidly, things aren't necessarily the same as it used to be. So they may interact with their addictions differently. It may be more destructive. Who knows? Their behaviors may lead them down completely different paths. That could just disrupt everything. It's really hard to say. That's just something that I was thinking about, because people tend to lean into addictions and speak of drugs, but there's a lot of different addictions. Like they showed earlier, sex addictions. It's like a lot of different ways to be addicted to things. Like it may have been drugs that your previous generation was addicted to, but then you might end up addicted to sex, because you may use that as an avenue for relief or whatever. Who knows? I don't know. But I really do love that he mentioned that you can pass down positive things as well. I want to do a video about that at some point in the near future, but passing down positive traits. And let's see if they get into that a little bit more.
a battle you're just fighting for yourself. You're fighting for the very lineage that God gave you. And if you will break this curse, then your sons and your daughters have a better shot. And your grandchildren have a better shot. My son's name is Jubilee because his dad took the courage to break the curses off of him. I want to invite you to do the very same thing for those you love.
So I'm not going to lie, I don't know the relevance of Jubilee. I'm going to have to look into that. I know the name, but I can't remember what they did. So basically, it's very important to break generational curses and kind of pass on the knowledge to continue to battle them to your kids and their kids, and pass on the importance behind it, as well as create what I'm calling generational gifts. I'm going to do a whole video about that. But yeah, generational gifts is like the ultimate counter, or one particular counter to generational curses. I might literally make that video next. I don't know, or tomorrow or something. But yeah, I mean, this video really changed my perspective on things, and it just makes me think about the actions that I take daily. And I mean, the fact that I do want kids, it just makes me think about, what am I doing today to make my line stronger, right? And how am I empowering myself to empower my descendants 200 years from now, right? What lessons am I learning? What lessons am I teaching, so that when my descendants or whatever are coming across them, they receive it easier because it's already within their DNA, which is crazy as hell to think about. You know, that was really easy for me to receive. It's almost like I already knew it. Your DNA knew it, right? Your DNA knew those particular lessons already, so it was easy for you to pick it up. So breaking generational curses and creating generational gifts may not necessarily be the easiest thing to do, but I feel like there's a saying. What is it? Outside of comfort is success or something. I don't know, like outside of your comfort zone is the life that you want, or I can't remember what it is, but basically outside of struggle, the other side of on the other side of struggle is success, basically. So it may be difficult at first to conquer your demons, to go within yourself and figure out what's going on, but the freaking win, the freaking the amount of things that you gain from that, there's no way to really place how valuable that is. Not on a monetary scale, but it's true value to me. All right. So yeah, if you liked the video, feel free to express yourself by the many means on this page. If you agree, disagree, whatever, hit me up. If you're taking out the time to break generational curses, let me know. Let's talk about it. I'm working on some things too. You know, feel free to discuss it and all that other good stuff. So, all right, have a good one.